Today's story comes from Cades Cove, a beautiful place rich in history. It's a true tale of the descendants of two of Cades Cove's early settlers, one a preacher, the other a moonshiner, whose paths were destined to meet in the 1920s. The history of Cades Cove began a century before the Great Smoky Mountains National Park was established. The first family to settle here were the Olivers, who came from Carter County, Tennessee. One of their descendants was a man named John Oliver, a primitive Baptist minister and the local mail carrier, a deeply religious man of faith. On the flip side, there was Josiah Gregory, of the Gregory family, another of the early families of Cades Cove. Josiah, known as Joe Banny, was a legendary moonshiner. He earned his nickname due to his short stature, like a banny rooster, but his moonshine was known far and wide for its exceptional taste. Unfortunately for Joe Banny, in the 1920s, moonshine was illegal, and Joe had a run-in with the law, earning himself a record. On December 8, 1921, Blount County deputies raided Joe Banny's still, seizing his whiskey and equipment. To get that shine out, though, the law had to borrow mules and wagons from Pastor Oliver's father, William Howell Oliver, who was also a preacher. As you might imagine, this incident didn't sit well with Joe Banny. He suspected that John Oliver, who had ventured into all corners of Cades Cove in his job delivering the mail, had tipped off the authorities, and Joe could not let this slide. The next night, a series of strange events unfolded. John Oliver and his children, Lucille and Wayne, went to raise money for the school library. Late that night, John's barn was set ablaze. He desperately tried to save his horses, but lost one. Neighbors rushed to help, saving the corn crib, farm equipment, and the season's harvest. But another barn on the upper end of the property was destroyed, along with everything inside, marking the loss of 25 years of hard work. Suspicion fell on Joe Bandy and his brother, Dana Gregory, due to Joe's accusations against John Oliver. Authorities began investigating, but then came another unexpected incident. On Christmas Eve, Joe's son, Earl Gregory, and a friend, Perry Tipton, tried to play a prank on John and Francis Sparks, pretending to be law enforcement. That backfired, and a fight ensued in which Earl was beaten quite severely. Joe Banny wasn't amused by his son's beating. On Christmas Day, he and Dana Gregory went to the Sparks family's Christmas celebration, and violence erupted. Shots were fired, leading to arrests. Trials were held, and Joe and Dana were convicted of felonious assault against John Sparks. Dana Gregory was also convicted of burning John Oliver's barn, with Joe Banny convicted of being an accessory in that crime. The brothers were sentenced to 20 years. But that's not the end of this story. John Mitchell, a druggist and one of Joe's biggest moonshine customers, contacted Governor Austin Peay for Joe Banny. The governor issued a pardon, and Joe was released in time for Christmas, thanks to some special deliveries. The story of the minister and the moonshiner is a fascinating chapter in the history of Cades Cove, a place with a rich and colorful past. If you ever visit the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, remember to explore the cove's history and its intriguing characters. If you like this story of Appalachia, please be sure to follow us. Thanks for watching, folks.